Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks for being so patient while I wait to drop this video. Anyways, I'm going to be reopening up with Rise of the Titans questions from the comments. Well, kind of just troll hunters in general, or just tell us Arcadia questions you guys in the comments. I'm so excited to go over. Anyways, I do want to thank you all again for throwing in those comments. Like, I loved reading them. Like, there were some really deep ones. I'm like, wow, I didn't really think about this, but I'm pretty sure I'm able to answer all those questions you guys threw in there. So fingers crossed that I don't disappoint. Anyways, got my fancy iPad. Look at all the stickers I decked out with it. I love it. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the questions. So the first one's gonna be from Josiah Castillo, and they say, "Hey, I saw your Tales of Arcadia video and have a few thoughts. First, when I finished Wizards, I had the same idea that there was an issue with the timeline, mainly because of one reason: Claire imprisoned Morgana in the Shadow Realm and not Hearthstone Troll Market. So I did some digging through the internet to see if the producers made a mistake or if someone else addressed this. Mind you, I watched Wizards last year, so during that time, no one really paying attention, and your video came out last month. However, sometime later, I found Wizards Tales of Arcadia fandom page, and the website gave a great detail about every episode. So I went to the episode Kill Ahead Part 2, since that is the episode where Claire did her thing. I scrolled down to the trivia and found out that Claire actually did send Morgana to Hearthstone Troll Market. Basically, after the battle, she explained that she sent Morgana to Hearthstone Troll Market, but that got cut out during production because it would go over time. And then they sent the link. Thank you for that. And then that's the link. Overall, I think Wizards was great, but here are the few things. Was the Arcane Order ship originally Gunmar's habitat? Now, I think I question that too, because mainly in Troll Hunters, we do learn that Gunmar is born from a corrupted Hearthstone, which is really interesting because the new the original Troll Market in Troll Hunters is not really corrupted, but is destroyed. So I was thinking that the Arcane Order might use that to bring Gunmar back to life to help them fight against, the heroes like Jim, Claire, and all of them, trying to get either the... I don't know if they're trying to get the seals still, if they already have them, or if they're just trying to win the battle that's going down. But I think that Gunmar might make a reappearance in the show, which would be pretty cool. But anyways, trying to answer that question, was the Arcane Order ship originally Gunmar's habitat? I would have to say no. Personally, I don't think that, because Gunmar did come from a troll market, a Hearthstone, that was not just a troll market, but Troll's Hearthstone, where he came from, that was just corrupted. So I feel like he would have came from a similar troll market, not the one that we know, but one from the past. And it does show him living in the forest, in places where he didn't just live a specific place. He just wanted to live wherever, pretty much. I don't know if that answers your question. I'm not sure if I answered it very well, but that's that for you. Okay, so the next one was, did Morgana plan their Eternal Night before the battle, or while she was in prison? How did Merlin find out about the Eternal Night if he was just sleeping? So I feel like Morgana it just kind of depends, on who you ask. Because some people think that the Wizard's timeline now is just corrupted, and everything that happened in Troll Hunters is messed up. But I think that in Troll Hunters, if we go back to Troll Hunters, I think that she did have the Eternal Night planned. And I feel like maybe the Arcane Order told her about the Eternal Night. And that's how she was able to get Gunmar to help her. That way they could all take over the Earth together. And yeah, so I think that she already knew about it. And Merlin, he knows all about the magic and spells and stuff. And I'm pretty sure he kind of just already knew what she was going to be up to before she did it. So I feel like that's where that took place in, is that Merlin kind of already knew what was going to happen. He knows all about the magic stuff. So I feel like he already knew what Morgana was going to be planning. Alright, and then why couldn't the Arcane Order free Morgana or Gunmar from their prisons? They could have been in Troll Hunters for all we know. That's a very good point. I feel like the Arcane Order was just kind of introduced in Wizards. Kind of I don't know. I don't want to say a last minute thing, because I feel like Troll Hunters, Tales of Arcadia, they're pretty consistent and pretty accurate with what's going on and stuff. They don't just throw on these characters. So the reason why the Arcane Order didn't bring back Morgana or Gunmar, mainly I think is because they didn't need them. They didn't need them until they needed them, honestly. Even Morgana, half of them wanted to kill them, but now he's all okay, let's take care of her and stuff. And then they end up using her to help them get what they need. Basically, they don't need Gunmar or Morgana to get their goals, so I don't think that's why they freed them. Sure, in the long run, it would make it easier for them to achieve the goal with their help, but without, like, they didn't need them to accomplish their goal. Like Gunmar, he needed Morgana to accomplish Eternal Night, so that's why he was trying to free her. And yeah, so they didn't like need Morgana or Gunmar to achieve their goal. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for that long thing, because I was like, am I the only one that noticed this? I'm so glad other people noticed it, and I hope that my other video was kind of helped explain the timeline a little bit more for you. Alrighty, and then I have another one. So I have like just screenshots from them. Okay, this one's from Jamie Hone. Sorry, I don't know if I say this right, but I'm so sorry. Do you think Jim will have something happen to him? And I think if you mean by this is if he'll get injured, I think there's a chance he will get injured during any of the battles. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of battles going on during this Rise of the Titans, which I'm pretty excited about. Their battle scenes are so beautifully made. Like, I'm very excited. I hope that there's a ton of them. But I do feel like Jim's going to get injured in some way, and that's why they'll either tell him, like, you don't need to help us, or you're just going to sit out. And I think that's when we might see him use the Serrator, or if that's when they'll make him the new amulet, because he just refuses to, like, no, like, I can still help without an amulet. So I feel like that's maybe when they'll make him the new amulet, is after he gets hurt. Something happened to him. Honestly, I'm not going to go over this another one, but I think that Jim may die in the Rise of the Titans. Just because, like, he's a troll hunter who's ready to sacrifice himself. He's been so sacrificing. The only reason I wouldn't think that he wouldn't sacrifice himself to save the world is that way it wouldn't be repetitive. Because he has done it in troll hunters and wizards. So they might think, okay, that's kind of repetitive, but we have him do it again. That's the only reason I wouldn't think that they would make him sacrifice himself. Anyways, thank you very much for your comment. Honestly, I really hope nothing happens to him because I love him so much. But, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Anyways, this one's from Taylor. Okay, I don't know. Taylor Carnis? Close? Oh, anyways. They say, so I know that you already made the video of people who were asking questions and you were answering them, but there's more questions I was hoping to ask you. And of course, feel free to ask me any question you want. I will always go over them no matter what. Unless like I die or something. Anyways. So they sent 2 questions. Bringing over the first one. It says, okay, so do you think that Claire will have to protect Jim in Rise of the Titans? Because he just got turned back into a human, and he's kind of weak from all the pain that he went through with his shard moving towards his heart and being thrown around because of his temper. But until he gets a new amulet, he's going to need someone to protect him. So you think that Claire will stick by Jim's side and protect him until he gets a new amulet? The answer is yes. Claire loves Jim. Like, she loves him so much, and their love for each other is so beautiful. And I really do feel like she's going to stick by his side to the very end, and she might even get injured protecting Jim. I feel like that might happen. She might get injured protecting Jim because Jim doesn't have a means to protect himself. He is going to be, I feel like Jim will be hurt and weak from all the trauma he really went through. Like, he went through a lot. And about the shard moving to his heart, like, we don't know what happened with that. It never came out. It never showed, like, it never came out. I don't know if it has something to do with him turning back to a human, that it was just all good, but I don't know if he'll suffer from pain from that again. But to answer your question, I do think that Claire will stick by Jim's side and protect him, and I think it's going to be adorable. All I want from this new movie is to hear Jim say, I love you to Claire. That's all I'm asking for, but who knows if we'll get that. And their second question is, do you think that Krell and Deuce will be the ones to create another amulet and change it to a little bit to where Jim has more power and more abilities, so that way he can always finish the fight the first time, so he won't have to wait to use one of his abilities later on? Because you know how Blinky told Jim that there are different stones to unlock his powers, and he only got the chance to use them later on in season 1 when the big villain was defeated, like Gunmar's son. Okay, I really hope they do add some extra abilities. I'm hoping maybe like a high-tech bow would be awesome, in my opinion. Or maybe the serrators, how they can like turn into blasters, or a sword. I think that's what the amulet's like sword's gonna do, where it's like you can change it to a spear, a sword, or like a blaster, which would be insanely cool. I would love to see Jim with like a gun or a bow and arrow. That would be insane. But I do feel like Crowners, they're gonna use their both of their abilities together to make an awesome amulet that we've never seen before, which will be awesome. All right, thank you for your comment very much. I loved going over those questions. They were great questions, and it had Jalaire, which I live for. No joke. Anyways, so Eve Partington says, for my question, I do hate to discuss this, but who do you think will end up dying in Rise of the Titans? And Troll Hunters, Droll, Vindel, and Angor died. 3 below, the Rollers of Arcadia 5, and then Wizards, Merlin, Morgana, Galahad, and King Arthur all died. If the movie is supposed to have links with all 3, I have a feeling perhaps Blinky or maybe Jim, since Merlin chose him to be Troll Hunter for a reason. Perhaps he sacrificed himself for the world. Love your vids, keep it crispy. Thank you. I love you, and make sure you keep it crispy as well. Anyways, this is kind of a depressing topic to go about, but the directors of Tales of Arcadia and the writers and producers and all of them, they're not afraid to kill people off. Obviously, you just listed like everyone that died. And I'm very curious to see who is going to pass away in Rise of the Titans. I feel like it's going to be a lot of people. Like I said, I do feel like Jim might die, sacrifice himself. But then again, like, he has, like, sacrificed himself in the other series, so I don't want them to, like, I think they might think it's being too repetitive. And I don't want him to die, hopefully. And Claire, I don't see her dying, but that'd be very depressing if she did, because finally Jim's back to human and they could be with each other, and that happened. So hopefully that's not happening. I hope I do not just jinx anything, but I don't think that Claire would die. Maybe Jim, but I don't know about Claire. Blinky, I actually thought Blinky could die, and that would be a very sad day if Blinky dies. It would be interesting to see what happens if Blinky dies, because you gotta look at, like, the things that could happen. Is not only would it affect, like, Jim and stuff, it would also affect Arg, and how would he handle it? Would he stay as a good guy, or would he become aggressive and join the villains team? Or since Blinky is now, like, the ruler of, like, the trolls and troll market, who's going to be the new ruler if Blinky were to die? And those are just kind of things that you have to, like, kind of, like, see as you go through it. And I don't know if, just because of the whole, like, who would be the next leader, it's kind of, like, I don't know. It would be interesting, though, if, like, Krell ended up leading or something. That'd be weird, because he's not a troll, but, I mean, you never know. It could happen. It really could happen, which would be cool, though, because Ajo's leading Arcadia 5, and then Krell could lead the trolls, and then it kind of gives him a purpose. But that's just a whole nother topic for another thing. I kind of just came up with that on the flow. I don't mean to brag or anything, but I did come up with that on the flow. Anyways, for people who I think will die, I definitely think you're right. I think it could be either Jim or Blinky. Arg kind of died already once in season 1. Was that season 1? Yeah, that was season 1. Dang. Anyways. Yeah, so Arg kind of already died in season 1 of Troll Hunters. And yeah, I really don't think they're afraid to kill people off, honestly. And I feel like everyone's life's on the stake right now. Like, you don't know what's going to happen to anybody. Strickler could even die. You know, he might come back and then die. That'd be kind of sad for him. I miss Strickler. He's like one of my favorite characters, and I can't wait to see him back. If he comes back even. I've heard rumors that everyone's going to make an appearance again, but who knows? Okay. Yep, okay. Looks like we have one last question from J. Jackson A. Anyways, they say, hi, Prince of Fandoms, I have another question. Do you think when Jim got turned into a troll, him being permanently like that was because the spell was attached to Merlin? And since he died, it gave Jim the chance to finally become human again. I just want to hear what you think in your next video. Have a great vacation and keep it crispy. Thank you, and you keep it crispy as well. Anyways, to answer this question, I think that's, like, kind of what happened. Because Merlin was very specific. He was like, there's no going back. And let's just be honest, Merlin is selfish. And if there was a way to turn Jim back and it was him dying, he wasn't going to let Jim know that's how it happened. Because who knows what was going to happen. Barbara probably would have just killed him on the spot and like, okay, well, if this is the way to get my son back, adios, Merlin. So yeah, Merlin's always looking out for his interests, and he probably didn't want Jim to know if the way he was able to turn back to human was for him to die. If that makes sense. Anyways, so yeah, I think that Jim being able to come back to human is probably because he was tied to Merlin's magic. That probably makes the most sense, honestly. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all your comments and questions. Those are amazing. I loved reading all of them and going over all of them. Even if some of them were sad and kind of confusing. I hope I answered all of them well. Like, I hope I didn't, like, leave you guys hanging on them. Fingers crossed. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys have a great day. And throw any more questions you have in the comments below. Have a great day.